Hey everybody, Shawn from Silicon Theory here, and today I wanted to do a quick overview of some of the features that are new and that I found particularly interesting in Android P. So I have my trusty Pixel XL here that I have downloaded and installed the Android P beta on, and it is a public beta, so word of caution if you're interested in doing this, remember there's going to be bugs, there's going to be weirdness because this is not the final release of the device. So, but before we get started, I want to make sure if you are subscribers, make sure because of the changes that have happened to YouTube recently that you are going into the little bell icon and then for notifications and then clicking on the all so that you receive notifications every time we upload a video here at Silicon Theory. So I'm sure that you've done that, but if you haven't already, go ahead and give that a shot, and then we will, without further ado, go ahead and dive into Android P. So I'm going to have some comparisons to what's different, and I'm using Android 8.1 Oreo on my Pixel 2 XL, but first off the bat, what you're going to see is the always on screen now has, when you double tap to wake it, the battery level left still on the bottom portion here. So I'm gonna get this up. Oops, hey, there's a phone there. Bring this up towards the camera so that you can kind of see when I tap on this, you can see battery percentages there at the bottom. So in addition to that, when you wake the phone using the power lock switch, you'll notice that the cutouts now for the notifications are a little bit rounded corners, a little bit more of a card style. This is in direct comparison and contrast to, and I'll show you in just a minute, the very square look of the previous version of these notifications, but that's just one of the other things that's new. So when you unlock the phone, you wake it from sleep, immediately you're going to be presented with the change. The clock icon is now over to the left, and the other icons, including the battery, the mode, your vibration, and do not disturb, are over to the right. I have a couple of other icons that are up here. One is, one's an Android system icon, and the other one is a battery monitor for me. So, but this is done purposely to leave the middle clean so that if you do have a device that has a notched display, you have space for it now. So, and then you'll see at the bottom, of course, the new home pill, which we'll touch a little bit on later. But the first thing that I wanted to do is show the new look of the notification toggles. And again, I'm going to bring up as comparison my trusty Pixel 2 XL here, so you can kind of see the difference in each of these. So we have a, oh, thanks, Layla. You have a kind of grayed out or a grayscale looking notification toggle in the previous version of Android, and the new version of Android has this grayscale but with some extra color in there. And in addition to that, you'll also see that the menus have changed a little bit. So when we go to the settings menu, you're going to see again much different in terms of the new Android P beta has a lot of color and a lot of more information. The battery icon, for example, now tells you how long your battery should last instead of just this grayscale notifications and basically a straight, this just says 13 hours, 21 minutes left. This tells you actually, hey, your phone should last until around 4:15. So that's kind of interesting. But if you look, you can also see that the search widget at the very top here is now rounded instead of square. That's pretty common now for a lot of the theming that's going on with the Android P beta. So just to prove it, you can scroll down and see system update has been updated to Android P. So for the home screen, under that system setting gestures, that's where you're going to find the new swipe up for home button. So when you click on that, and you'll all get the funny joke where it says swipe up on home butt. Ha, good times. If you were to turn this off, you would see that now the navigation buttons are the traditional layout. You've got your back, your home, and your recents. So when you enable this, and it's important to note that the feature for this is turned off by default, so you'd have to actually go in and turn it on in order to get the new navigation. So if you enable this, you will get the new gesture-based navigation that you see. And one of the other things that I want to notice here is also the animation. So when I go back, you're going to watch the animation kind of fly away into the left. This is in very stark contrast to the previous style of animation. When you get rid of a home screen, you see on the Pixel 2 XL that when you escape, it should slide down to the bottom. So that animation is very different. It's also reflected in the new style of the home button and how you navigate to your recent apps feature from Android P. So again, when you're swiping up from the home, you get this little kind of half gesture, and then it brings up your current, new, and previously used applications. So you can kind of scroll through them, and one of the things that I've noticed is you can still, you can kind of tap on it to get it to come back, or if you're swiping up from the bottom, you can also swipe down to bring it back again. So if you're swiping up, I kind of think of it as, a half swipe, and then if you are basically like swipe and release, you get your recent used apps. If you're in the home and you swipe up and kind of hold it, you get the app tray. And it's still a little janky, the animation, as you can kind of see when you drag up, you still see, hey, the recent apps, oh no, there's your app tray. So hopefully Google will kind of smooth that out, but it is very unique. And that gesture-based navigation is something that might take some people a little bit of time to get used to. I use the iPhone X, and I got used to it pretty quickly, so this seems kind of natural to me. And the end result is you can do 2 swipes, you can do 1 long swipe, you can do a number of different things to get into your different sections of the new operating system. So that's just kind of a quick overview of some of the new features of Android P. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you gently press that thumbs up button. We appreciate that. And if you haven't already, make sure that you're subscribed so that you get all of our video content as soon as it's available. You can also check out all of the rest of our written content over at silicontheory.com. You can follow us on social. We are at Silicon Theory on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks again for watching, and remember, as always, we will talk tech soon.